In this video, I want to walk you through a complete and comprehensive and very sophisticated description of a financial reporting scheme. Create a report using that scheme. Verify that the report has been created correctly. I can't extract yet, but here's what I want to show you. So I created this thing that I call my proof. The reason for the proof is to make sure that I can do all the use cases that a financial report would need. So in this, I put in, this looks like a toy, but it's not a toy at all. It has prior period adjustment. It has a variance that uses a scenario. It has member aggregation. It has roll forwards, and it has roll ups, and it has sets. Basically, it has all the different types of information patterns that you would see in a report. Now you can look at this here, and you can, these are all XBRL files. These are the terms. You can see all this stuff. It's all machine readable, and you can actually use this. Another view of this is a human readable view. I've loaded each of those important files into Tesseract, and here you see the entry point and see all the information about the taxonomy, and a human can understand this, an accountant can understand this. Here are the disclosures that I created, which I organized into topics, and so there's the balance sheet. And these disclosures, I can now reference them by name because I created a name for each of the disclosures, so I can use that information. And I do use that in my disclosure mechanics rules, and what that does is it allows me to detect each of the disclosures even if I don't use the hypercubes that provide descriptive information, because SEC filers are not required to use hypercubes, neither are ESMA filers. So, but I can still detect that. And these are all the disclosure mechanics rules. This is the reporting checklist. I'm basically saying that all of these are required. So I'm going to test to make sure that I see them. These are the subtype relations. They explain basically what the SEC and ESMA call wider, narrower, or pick the narrowest concept type thing. Tests all that, and these are the fundamental accounting concept relations and rules. These test to see if the fundamental relations of a report are correct, and they also derives line items that have not been explicitly reported. Like a lot of companies, they don't report the line item non-current assets, so this will derive it and provide it in the information set that is returned. So now, this can also be seen using Tesseract. This is exactly the same information. It's the exact same files. They've all been fed into Tesseract, and then Tesseract renders the reporting style, or the reporting checklist rules, the disclosure mechanic rules, the value assertions, the calculations. So when I'm pointing out, and these are the derivation rules, so I'm pointing out here is that two different software applications are doing exactly the same thing. Tesseract, which is a working proof of concept, and Pacioli, which is a commercial application that was built using the same ideas and the same XBRL based rules. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a third application, which is the audit chain suite that uses those rules, and I'm going to create a new report called proof. So I created a report. This report is empty. No rules, no facts, no nothing. So I'm now going to go to, I have two versions of this. This is the audit chain version. This is my version on my website. I'm going to use my version on my website. It is cached in a smart cache. I'm going to explain that later. Here is all of those same links, the same information. This is used inside the application for some stuff. I'm going to grab that base taxonomy. There it is. You can see the whole taxonomy. But I don't need the whole taxonomy. I only want the for-profit version, so I'm going to take the net assets out. I don't want both income statements. I only want one. I'm going to get rid of this alternative. And I am now going to import the associations as a template and the rules as a template into the Audit Chain Suite Luca application, which I've done. So now you see the terms and the labels. References are not entered. The structures, the associations, and you can see all the associations. This is the presentation view, the calculation view, and the definition view of each of those structures. And I have separately the facts. These are all the facts that relate to this proof. I'm going to pull those in using a different manner with the dimensional information and the parenthetical explanations. So I'm going to simply go here. I'm going to import the facts, the dimensions, and the parenthetical explanations, which I have now done. And I'm going to, yeah, you can see them there, validate the report using this reporting style, which automatically grabs those files that I showed you before. I'm going to write this to the interplanetary file system. I could pass it to the Audit Chain Explorer. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to refresh the cache because nothing's changed. And I should get a perfectly valid report per that very extensive set of rules. Anytime. There you go. There's all the validation. There's the Pacioli verification report. There's all the parts of my report that I pulled in. I also auto-generated these normalized financial statements, high-level normalization. So this is just the very high level. And the reporting checklist, everything is okay. The type, subtype relations, this is really interesting. It's got all this, the wider, narrower relationships are all correct. The Pacioli identified the blocks. This is not correct. There's one little glitch. I'll figure that out. But other than that, this shows you the power of XBRL-based reports when you're controlling the report using a robust set of rules. I'll call that good.